So I wanted to start out with saying that we've been here seems like a lot of time.
It's not right.
Hey, James, get everybody's attention. Everybody out here doesn't know what's going on. We're going to do a little eulogy for Randy. Let me get everybody.
Eulogy for Randy.
Hi guys, can we get everybody towards the garage? Yeah, we're gonna do a little. James is gonna say a little eulogy for Randy. Can we get you guys to come towards the garage?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, well, James is gonna say a little eulogy for Randy.
I'm saving that. I'm gonna save the spot.
You can do whatever you want. That's fine.
You want me to?
Yeah, really. You know what? When I met him,
I knew that
he was good.
it wasn't your cup of tea.
Everybody wants to come in.
They don't have to finish. I don't know what he's talking about. There it goes.
Woo, got him. You're gonna run into the thing.
Oh, welcome back, Lori.
Yes. Okay, turn.
Is there any way we can get some garage lights on?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should
I don't know how to do them.
Hi, Emily.
Don't even recognize me.
No, I looked right at you. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Howard.
Sorry. I looked right at you.
I know. I just want to say hi.
Howard.
Welcome back. Howard.
Howard.
Right.
Can I get a little bit of light?
Let's see how dark it is. I was thinking fluorescent lights would be nice. Awesome. Thank you.
Please. Okay, stop. I don't want
Okay, I think everybody can hear me 'cause I'm a little bit loud. So, I just wanted to start off with saying thanks for coming out on a really hot day. So I really appreciate that. And we would have been meeting here today for Randy's 60th birthday. And I think we've been coming here. Howard's opened his house to us for Christmas parties. And always, every summer, all these faces I see for Howard's parties and Randy's parties, you know. So I'm just really glad to see that everybody made it out. And I put together a few videos that I could and put them up, and I'll link more of them and probably put them on Howard, Tiffany's, my pages for you guys to see. And if any of you have some that you haven't seen yet, because I have a treasure trove, you don't see me with the camera, I'm always behind the camera. So going through those, I found stuff that I'm sure no one's ever seen. A lot of Brad's parties. Brad, I don't know where Brad's at, but a bunch of Brad's parties I found, you know, and stuff. Going through all these hard drives I've been going through, you know. So I kind of made some folders and for people, so expect to be getting a dump of Dropbox because there's some big folders. But it's just stuff that I know you guys want to see and no one's ever seen. Kind of what happens when you're taking as many thousands of gigs a year of photos as I was doing and not putting them out or doing anything with them because I was on to the next gig. So, like I said, thanks for coming. There's food on the table if nobody found it. Some Rosie's, some pizzas, a little bit of beers going around here and stuff. So, we've been here a lot of years for a lot of parties. So, some of my stories would probably be some of the funnier situations here. Like some of Howard's birthdays here, Howard? Yeah, we've had some fucking fun here.
I only took my clothes off once.
Yeah.
Pictures are it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Let's just say it did.
Anybody here the year that the ska dude showed up on Howard's birthday and set up and rocked the house? I found videos of that. These guys did some Led Zeppelin. Howard was shit-faced drunk over there in his chair. And these guys sat down. Remember those punk rock dudes?
Oh, yeah.
Doing Whole Lotta Love. I'll get that put up for you guys. And Howard's expression, man. Or just across, you know, Howard's always behind the kid doing the Zeppelin. Come on, guys. But yeah. So that was pretty cool to watch. Man. Me and Randy, it was kind of hard the first month. Still hard, but for that first month, because every time you said Randy or James, it always came off as Randy and James. you know? It's kind of, it took me a while because everywhere I went, it was Randy and James, Randy and James. I moved up north in 2019 to take care of my aunt. So I brought him up there in 2025. Yeah, he came up the summer of 2025 with me. No, 2024.
Came before that.
2024,
Yeah,
it was.
came over my place.
Exactly. So it was 2024. I brought him up. He was supposed to come for 1 month. I said, you can come up there, you know? And he was off the chemo and everything, so he came up for a month, and every day I would just take him a different direction. We'd go like 2 hours north, 2 hours east, 2 hours west, 2 hours south. And I just show him stuff I found while I could break away and keep my sanity doing my 24/7 caregiver gig. And so a bunch of mornings I'd wake up after about month 2, month 3. He just, you know, didn't go home. We just stayed there, kept doing this. And I'd say, what do you want to do today? And he'd say, you know, it's funner than Disneyland. Let's ride the ferry from the next town over, Vallejo. It's about a 40-minute ride into the city. And he was content to ride the ferry into the city, get lunch, and come back. And that was perfect for me because I could just change my mom, get them on some TV, get them some snacks. They fall asleep for an hour. We're back. You know, so we'd run and do that a lot. So I have a lot of that video of just Randy was like a little kid riding that ferry. He loved that ferry. And he got into that was fun. I got him on a couple big striper right in my backyard. Got him on a sturgeon. Got him on a halibut. Took him, showed him how to catch crab with a snare. So we snared us some crab, got us 10 crab each. Came home, cooked those up. Took him on a drive up the California coast. Got him up to Fort Bragg and then back to the 101 and back down. So anyone that's drove anywhere up there, you know, it's probably some of the most beautiful coasts in the Northern California coast.
Go to Glass Beach and Fort
He-
Bragg.
exactly. Took him to Glass Beach.
Doesn't have glass.
Yeah.
Not like
Stories, man, I could probably go on for hours, guys. I think someone earlier showed me this. I think only the real people remember these days.
what was that?
Randy would do that when he was mad at us. Me, Corey, Jamie. He'd like bite his arm and he'd come running after you when we're all little kids. I think it was Rusty did it. Yeah, there we go. Rusty did it perfect.
I can't remember Rusty.
And man, he would sit in front of an old black and white TV, like about 8 inches from his face,
Yeah, I remember that.
with his silk blanket.
Star Trek.
Yeah, and just watch TV. Just watch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember what Howard used to do?
Yeah. 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 So yeah, I mean,
Other people's ears.
11th Street.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the 11th Street days. I'll write a book about that. Yeah, eventually. I mean, think of all the stuff that happened on 11th Street. Those that have been around, you know who I'm talking to.
I know nothing.
Yeah, John Canancer. Yeah. Can I tell a quick John Canancer story, even though it's Randy's day? So John Canancer used to crack me up. He would come over to our house. We all had stupid jobs. We weren't making a lot of money, but I think I worked at Midas. Randy was probably, might have worked at Red Top Auto, believe it or not, at that time. But John Canancer, man, he was the smartest guy. He would like pick everything out of the horse picks. Trifectas, man. Just like nothing. Sports betting. Yeah, he'd just tell it to you. If you had money and you went and bet it, you know, you would be hooked up. So we'd be all working all week. We'd get our paychecks, we'd pay our bills. We didn't have much money left, but John Canancer would walk around the corner to Mountain View and Baseline, and he'd put on these dirtbag, like hobo suit. And he'd go stand out front for like 15, not even that, 30 minutes at most. And he'd come back with like 2 36 packs and throw them in my apartment or my house. I lived there next door to Grandma Burr. And he'd come in there and he'd set them down. And when we'd run out, he'd say, okay, you guys want me to go and put on my bum suit, remember? And he'd walk over there and it wouldn't take him but 15 minutes, man. He'd come back 236 packs.
Thirsty, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's beers in the fridge there. So who else has some really good stories with Randy? I know, where's Roy? Roy Boy worked with
Howard,
him
you
forever.
gotta have some.
You gotta have some good stories at
Come
the
on,
shop.
brother.
Howard has one. You want a red?
Sure you do.
Yeah, we just fought all the time.
I'll give you a red. Yeah, we did. We fought all the time. I protected him. He had a big mouth. And I don't want to say bad things about him, you know. He did. He had a big mouth, and he was always getting in fights and getting his butt kicked. And I was the big brother that got to step in and save him. Not that I could fight or anything. I was more of a good negotiator than a fighter. So, you know, I could usually talk whoever was wanting to beat him up out of beating him up without beating me up, too. So, matter of fact, one of the friends I'm friends with on Facebook, I don't see him much, but it'd have been interesting if he would have showed up today. he's not in California. So. But no, you know, we were brothers, and we didn't always get along. I always loved him, but we didn't get along that great. And I spent most of my time off with my grandma and grandpa. With, you know, Randy spent most of his time with my mom and whoever, mostly Tom, my stepdad Tom. And so we kind of we weren't always together like that. But when we became adults, we grew together. We learned to appreciate each other and see what we had in common and help each other in that way. And we were very close. This last 30-something years, you know, 30, maybe 40. And we were close. We yelled at each other, but we never
My dad
fought.
wants you. He's on the phone with someone.
Yeah, we're both hotheads, but we get over it quick.
But you always have to love.
All I can say is I love him. I'll miss him. You know, wish he'd have taken a little better care of himself. He liked that soda pop. Yeah, he didn't do any like drugs or anything for the last long time. So we did get his shit together. And yeah, one thing I can say about my brother, he worked. He always, for as long as I can remember, he's had a job, you know. And he had kids, and he took care of them. He paid his support. He's been done wrong by some girls in the past, but he was always there to work and support his kids. And gotta respect that about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived without very much material-wise because of that. Yeah. Neither one of us ever really pretty made any money. But no, I don't know. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him a lot. And I'm one of them people. Now that I don't have a wife and kids at home myself, I still cook like I have a family. When I cook a meal, I cook for 10 people. You know, and so the first thing I do is send a text or a phone call to Randy. You know, hey, come over to eat. Come over to eat. You know, so now I got a little extra food if anybody's hungry.
I live across the street.
I'll give you a call. Seriously. Roddy, yeah. But, you know, as far as like fun stories or interesting things, yeah, we did so much stuff, and half the time we were so blasted out of our minds, I don't even remember half of it. You know, just bits and pieces I could throw together, but it would only make sense to me anyway. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of not fun. We had more fun than not. And one thing, he had a lot of friends too. 'Cause I see a lot of people here, and you know, I know everybody, but I mean, they weren't people that I hung around with. They were Randy's friends. And, honestly, one of my bestest friends in the whole wide freaking world is sitting out there by my truck out there. And I mean, bestest. And his brother's here, his mom's here, and I would not know that man if not for Randy. Because I met Sean through Randy when we were teenagers. And Randy's like, I got this friend, and he plays guitar, and he likes to kick shit and stomp around and raise hell, and you know, he's really cool. And next thing you know, me and Sean were best friends, and I thank Randy for that. I've actually met a few really good people through Randy. some of my best friends. But yeah, the boy had a lot of friends. Wouldn't surprise me to see some more people show up tonight. Matter of fact, I'd be surprised if more people didn't show up. Anyhow, open mic night. Got any jokes? Anybody got any jokes? I'm a terrible comedian.
I'll say something quick.
Go ahead.
I'll say something quick about my Uncle Randy.
Well, I met this guy who was addicted to break food. He said he could quit any time, or he could stop any time. Yeah, I can't even tell a joke. I can't even tell a freaking joke. Hey, take this away from me, please.
All right, I'm not a comedian, but I'll just say something nice about my Uncle Randy, a fond memory we had back in, I think, 2021 or 2020 maybe. I had these tickets to this concert, and it's like a hip-hop, some would say, I don't know, Suicide Boys, kind of like a little bit rap too, but kind of like rock too, a little punk. But they were up and coming. They've got a lot of traction now. But a couple years ago, I got these tickets, and the people I was going with bailed on me. And it's like an hour before. It's all the way out in LA, like out probably before, probably smaller, I think actually. I think it was at the Novo. But I had pit tickets, and I wanted to go. And I called my Uncle Randy. I had no one to go with. My dad, like he said, had moved up north, and so I called my Uncle Randy, and I said, "You want to go?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Fuck it, why not? Let's go." And he didn't even know who they were. And so I'm playing it on the way over there. He's jamming to it. He likes it. And we couldn't find parking. So he parks in some like illegal parking. And he's like, "Let's just pray my truck's here when we get back." And so we go, we park his truck, we walk into the venue, we get into the pit. And he's like, "Man, I haven't been in the pit show in a while. You know, I've been doing like all seated stuff." And he had the time of his life. I've got videos of it. I'll put them up for my dad, and he'll put them in one of the folders, one of the concert folders. But Randy loved it, and he was looking at all these people and all the way they were dressed, and he was just totally soaking it in and so immersed in it. And he thanked me profusely on the way back, and I really wish Nicole was here. She's supposed to be here, but truck was there. You know what? The truck was there, and he took me to Norm's for the first time on the way back. He took everybody to Norm's that hadn't been, and I'm like, I've never been to Norm's. And so we sat, it was like probably 1, 2 in the morning. We sat there till probably 3, 4 in the morning at Norm's, me and my Uncle Randy, just chatting, eating food, appetizers. We'd sat there a while, and he thanked me a lot, and you know, just had an amazing time. He thoroughly enjoyed that show very much, and that was a very fond memory that he and I had together.
Yeah, I like it.
It was fun.
That was fun, man.
Anyone else? Like you say something for Randy?
Yeah. It takes me a minute because emotions get me. So, you know, it's.
You gotta put that up to your mouth.
Okay, so in the midst of all this, it's amazing that us as family, you know, we're more than family, we're friends. So, you know, it's really unique. Something like me and Randy, he would stay the night, or I would stay the night down there. Howard insisted on having the radio on all night, which was probably still do it to this day. And me and Randy would sneak out because it was noisy enough that we would leave at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just ride our bikes. And we would just ride our bikes. I mean, like we thought we were cars. So when we were like 10, okay, 10 years old, and we would ride by this one donut shop on Baseline, right by no, it was closer to like when it was Harris Arena.
Yes.
You remember that?
That's where okay, let me interrupt into your story. So the place he's telling you about was where all of our money went from our 2 first Sun Telegram jobs. We were buying goddamn donuts at that place that he's going to tell the story about.
Yeah, so we would just ride by and knock on the guy's door. And then he'd be like, I mean, you gotta imagine, we're like this kid's age right here. We're just riding our bikes, and it's, you know, 3:30, now it's 4:30, and we're like, man, at this time, you know, we're thinking we need to go back home and go to bed, because we're about worn out now, and of course we're gonna get in trouble for being gone. So we're like, come on, Donut Man. Come on, Donut Man. It's like, finally this guy would let us in. And he's like, what do you got ready? And we would just get whatever he had, because he wasn't ready to open yet, but he was nice enough to us. And we did this, like, I mean, so many times. Then we'd sneak out of my house. It was a little harder to sneak out of my house. My mom, I don't know how she looked like she's really asleep, but she's not. Somehow, me and Randy be like going out the kitchen door. I don't know why it had to make noises, but it would. And we would try to do the same thing. And there were no donut shops. We would just ride on 40th Street, back and forth. Like we were like changing lanes, and I don't know how, I don't know if any of this is worth talking about, but it's just all these memories, all the years with Randy, and it's just so natural and normal to know. I mean, it's crazy to know that he would have been 60 years old today. And, when we were 9, we never imagined being 40. Then all of a sudden, you're 50. And all of a sudden, we're all, except Valerie, she's got a ways to go. We're all in our 60s now, nearing 60. And it's amazing, it's a wonderful thing that we have each other. And in the dynamic, between your mom and your dad, and my mom and your mom, it's like we had something that was unique. We had something that, those sisters all loved each other. So they made us kids have a bond. Lori Joe, we right there in Mentone, we gotta figure out somehow, some way to do more stuff together.
Gotta do Christmas parties.
Yeah, we just got it, and it's wild. Valerie lives in Idaho. Mike lives, and all the way back in Illinois. Brad's up in Sacramento. You guys are in Folsom, technically, right?
No, Brad lives with me in Sacramento.
In Sacramento. Well, I thought you were on the border.
No,
I thought you guys are on the border.
More. Brad, that's where Bruce lived for a while.
Well, it's still a city. The Folsom River right there. You're not too far from the Folsom River. So,
I'd go visit him.
And Rusty, he don't answer the phone, so you can't get a hold of him. I don't know what else to say, but Randy, to the very end, Randy was still just Randy. There was never a day that Randy went into being some crazy person that you could have dinner, do whatever, and it was always the same. We did a lot of hiking, a lot of bike riding, a lot of just hanging out, and a lot of it was just music related too. He was like Howard went to the swap meet and got a hat that said John Bonham Lives when we were like, I don't know, I think I was about 11, so you were about 13.
It wasn't that long after he died,
Yeah, and me and Randy would be like, he thinks he's John Bonham. And then here comes the drums, and here's the radio on every single night. It's like, and me, I don't know, I couldn't sleep with the radio on, so every night I stayed the night in between. I sleep on the floor between their two beds, and the speaker was like right in my face the whole time. I'd be like, oh man, Randy, let's go. Let's get up. Wake up, Randy, let's go. Because I've always been an early bird, so in the midst of it, Randy, if anybody knows, Randy was not an early bird. So in the midst of it, there was a lot of years that me and Randy, probably 3:30 in the morning, riding bikes, weekend after weekend after weekend. We did that for a lot of years, so I'm sure somebody else has a story. Brad?
Mine are 30. I couldn't say them.
Who's ready? Come on, Rusty, I got a story that you can tell that you're the one that knows the story. Yeah, I'll tell you the story you need to tell. You need to tell the story about you guys riding on Paris Hill behind when the... Oh. Yeah. Tell that. That's a great story. You know the story. Come on, Rusty. Okay, I'll be a little bit of a narrator. So this was like the McDonald's that nobody knows what used to be a McDonald's unless you knew Paris Hill.
Hamburger Hill.
Hamburger Hill.
Well, back behind Hamburger Hill, there used to be a trail that went down towards Paris Hill Park. Anyways, I had YZ80. Nice. Hey, Randy, you want to ride? He's all, sure. So I put him on the handlebars and rode down that hill. Down to the bottom. Holy crap. Into smoke. True.
I still remember that little motorcycle. Too bad this is about Randy, because I got a story about Jerry Tompkins too. Oh my God. All right.
True story. Yeah, I remember that.
I think we all need to come up here and tell Randy's story. I mean, there's so many great ones. There's always, you know, I loved watching that on Facebook when you went up there with Randy. I could tell he was having the time of his freaking life. I met Randy through Howard when I was 15, which was a long fucking time ago. At first, when I grabbed the microphone, I was going to say, my name's Lance and I'm an alcoholic, but then I realized it's the wrong meeting.
You're good company.
No. But once I met Randy, it was like just having a brother that I didn't have, and Howard and Jimmy, and it was just wild times when to be a teenager. And Randy was fun. Randy was like, hey, let's go meet some girls. And it's always like going off on a ride somewhere or walking to another neighborhood where, you know, we wanted to go meet some girls. We were teenagers, and that's what you did then. And somehow we got a hold of some Jack Daniels, walked down, I think, 5th Street, met some girls, we're on our way home, and we'd already drank quite a bit out of the bottle. And I can't remember who else was there. It was me and Randy and a couple other people. And we get into the wash that goes along 3rd Street, and it's all dirt. And when you're a teenager with Jack Daniels, getting out of that wash is no easy task. That was a pain in the neck, just trying to get out, to get back on the street so we can walk home. And it was just, I don't know, it was just like, yeah, the worst time to try and figure out what Jack Daniels was like at 15 years old. It just wasn't working well at all. But you know what, Randy was like a brother, and, you know, he was an amazing guy. He was fun, you know, and original, and not, he didn't judge you, you know. It's like you got up the next morning, and you know, went along with whatever was going on that day. We hung out for a while, and it was great. I know I saw the good side of Randy, and then, I mean, we were like brothers, so we got into fights before, you know, swinging on each other, and that kind of makes me love him more because he was real. He didn't, you know, pretend anything. He was just straight up, direct person, you know. So I think, you know, we're all here to celebrate his life, and so it'd be awesome if we had some more stories about him, you know, because we all have something, you know, that we had a good time with Randy, and, you know, there was a lot of different times when, you know, some of the better stories, and, you know, whatever you went through, you know, with him. So, anybody else?
Yeah, no, I agree. Everybody has a story, so I think anyone that's willing to step up and tell one story, we'll all love to hear it. So when I heard Corey's story, it totally reminded me of that donut shop in Howard Knows on the backside of Goodyear, between Xavier's gas station and the Goodyear, right there, across from Fame Liquor. So I guess we were probably same time as Corey's story. We were probably like 10 to 11 years old. And my dad had the boxes. I'm sure half the people in this room had a box from my dad back in the early days of cable TV. Yeah, exactly. The box. So we'd watch all the movies. We had it all. HBO, Cinemax, Smut. I don't know. We had it all in the day, right? Marilyn Chambers, I think. I forget the channels. But so we got a Sun Telegram job. We'd go over there to Goodyear and fold our papers, and then we'd go next door to the donut shop, like Corey was saying, and we'd wait out front, and he'd let us in. He wasn't even open. We'd get our donuts and take them back to the house after throwing our route up to their later neighborhood, Grandma Burr's. I think our route went from Baseline and Sierra Way over to Waterman to DMB and then back down. Like that was our square, our rectangle we did there. And so it came time to pay after collections back in the day where you had to go collect your route. And of course we weren't getting much tips, but it come time to pay the bill, we didn't have the bill because we spent it all on donuts at the donut man. So I think we only lasted about 2 months at the Sun Telegram, because after 2 months we're like, dude, you don't even pay your bills. You just get up and watch HBO all night, all summer, and come out here and eat donuts and throw your route. So who else do we have that?
Jimmy, that is funny that we know that donut shop.
Yeah, totally. All right, Brad, you're up.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Alright, I think most of you guys all know why. No, maybe you do.
We know you.
Unfortunately, I do.
Nah, we're happy to know you.
I know, I'm just messing with you guys. Anyways, yeah, I don't have a lot of stories with Randy other than when I asked him to move to Chicago with me or help me move my stuff to Chicago.
That's a good story. That's
a real good story.
Oh yeah, it was quite interesting, by the way. Anyhow, I had him drive my U-Haul truck with my wife's Honda hybrid piece of shit stuck behind it while I drove my dually and my race car trailer and all that back to Chicago. And I just told him that, you know, when you're driving, obviously the U-Hauls don't run as fast as all the other cars and trucks and shit. So I just told him to stay with me. So we traveled, everything was good. Stopped, got our fuel, gave him a little bit of drinks, waters, whatever he needed. And then we started getting in Oklahoma, and of course, remind you guys, this was in August. August in Oklahoma in the Midwest is humid as F-U ***K. And we finally got to the hotel about 1 in the morning. And I was driving my truck and trailer, and he's not familiar with driving 26-foot U-Hauls along with a car dolly on the car in the back that you can't see out your side mirrors. So that's why I always kept telling him, just don't put yourself in a position you cannot back up into because you can't see your trailer. He's like, okay, Brad, no problem. So we go, you know, we do our thing. So we get to Oklahoma, we get up to the hotel, it's about 1:30 in the morning, I'm wiped out, I can't drive no more. And I say, hey, we're going to the hotel, and the place hadn't been packed.
I'm glad you did.
The love of my life.
But the one road that that was all full of parking where I knew his truck and trailer couldn't go. I called him on my phone. I was like, don't go in there. Please don't go in there. I said, because you're not going to be able to back out because there's not a turnaround in the end of it. And I had to take my truck and trailer and go park in a spot where I could park it for the hotel. So he's like, okay. So I get and I park it. And I come back out, and granted, I have my wife with me in the truck, my 2 pit bulls. We're all getting out. We're all tired, wiped out. And Randy went into the place I told him, please don't drive it into. And I'm just like, oh my God. He's like, I'm trying to back it up. And I said, yeah, I see that, but you're kicking all over the place. I said, just stop. Please just stop. He's like, I'll get it. I was like, no, don't worry about it. I said, just stop. And so I walk over there, and then I got frustrated because I was really tired, you know, long days on the road and everything. But I tried to tell him, I was like, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. And he just got really emotional. He's like, I'm so sorry, cousin, I'm so sorry I didn't. I was like, dude, you're not doing me wrong or anything. I just asked you didn't do it, and you did, so don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. You know, so I asked him to get out of the seat, and I'll do it myself. So that's exactly what happened. He got out, and I maneuvered the damn thing where it's got to go. And then we parked it. And then now my wife, the dogs, and him, we're all together. Everything's finally parked. And I'm like, we're back the farthest hotel room you can get at that hotel, they gave us. Because we're at 2 in the morning, so everybody got everything closer. And you know Randy, he was huffing and puffing. He was like, come on. I was like, come on, cowboy. We get it. We get our luggage to the hotel, get the dog, get the wife. I'm wiped out, he's wiped out. And we got to the room finally, and we settled down and everything. But he got really heartbroken because he felt he let me down. And I was like, dude, you let me down. You might not listen to what I said, but we fixed that real quick. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, okay, just take my punishment for a moment and then we move on. So we did. Got everything situated, stayed the night, got up, finally got to Chicago, you know, the next day. And that man's never seen real humidity in August in Illinois. And God, he was like wiped out, literally wiped out. And I just said, hey, just come in the house. You know, my new house I was moving into, I already knew the owners. I lived there before and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, just come in here. I cranked the air down to 68 degrees. Just sit your ass down. And me and the kids and everybody will do the rest. He's like, you don't need help. I was like, you don't want to help me, dude. Trust me. Just stay seated. Enjoy it. Here's the TV. Enjoy what you got. I said, what you did for me was something that I couldn't ask from too many people. And that's what meant everything to me. Was you did something that not everybody could. If I called in on you and say, hey, can you like drive my, I mean, I hit him up in a 3-day notice. That was a 3-day notice. I was like, hey, can you drive it? He's like, huh, what? And actually I called Howard first and Howard suggested. He's like, talk to my brother. So that's what I did is I called Randy. I said, hey, have you ever been out in California, at least in the Midwest? He's like, no. I was like, if you want to take a trip, I'll pay you. I'll pay for your fuel, your food, your housing, your plane tickets, everything you need. I just need the help. He's like, okay. So it was great. So he helped me, we did all that, and I had all the youngsters, and we unloaded everything, and he stayed with me for about 3 more days, and got a little taste of Chicagoland area and the weather and all that goofy stuff. And it was time to come home. But when he went home, that is my last memory of me and him doing one-on-one with stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just with events or whatever the case may be. So that's why that one sticks in my head. And I don't have anything newer other than, yeah, he comes over and Sacramento, him and James come out and we hang out a little bit. But as far as all the craziness goes, that was our moment. I just want to share it. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Met him at Paris Hill Park when I was 16. He was cute, blonde-haired, skinny guy, real shy, and he had a chipped tooth. We sat and talked for hours, sitting on the swing and talking at the park. And come to find out later, his mom's boyfriend was named after his mom's boyfriend's daughter. And then they live on 15th Street across from your grandma. Say that again. I met Howard and his girlfriend Sandy. We were all skinny then.
We all were.
But I still make it all the years fly by. We always have a party over at Howard's.
What was Roy Landy to you?
He was named after his daughter. And then his daughter had 2 kids with my Uncle Denny and a son with my ex-boyfriend.
Okay. So you're cousins with your daughter?
Yeah, we're all cousins in San Bernardino. And then, because James is my cousin, and he's Randy's stepbrother, right? Because Jennifer's my cousin, cousin's sister.
Our twisted family.
So you realize what a small world.
We're all cousins in San Bernardino.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with who you meet.
I'm gonna wait and ask.
I miss Randy though. He was the love of my life. He was a sweetheart. He was so shy.
That's like a twisted little circle right in there.
But that's it. Happy birthday, Randy.
Happy birthday, brother.
Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, man.
You knew I'd be here.
Throw it home this time.
Okay. Yeah. Where's the girl? Katrina's with me. And you guys hungry, Katrina? Where's Tony?
I don't know.
Didn't enjoy that yet?
We were young, and Randy wanted to prove to everybody that farts could burn. Oh! So Randy takes a lighter and shoots a flame out his ass about 3 feet. No lie, no lie. Yeah, so I had to tell that story. I wanted to tell it.
That was good.
I know you got stories. These people have been here for 40 years.
60. I've been here 60.
Okay. Yeah, right.
66.
I mean, we've all got some really great stories. I know you. You got some stories. And you back there. I see you back there.
Oh, yeah.
You got some Randy stories. Tammy wants me to tell a couple stories from when I met Gary's wife. Yeah. We go back to 45 years.
Scott's got a story.
Okay, here we go. Let's get Scott. Scott's going to step up to the mic and tell us, and I know he's got some good stories because he's been around also for 40 some years.
Put Scott on the spot.
Okay. It was in high school, and my friend Jeff Jones goes, "Hey, we're gonna go over and meet my buddy." And I said, "Dude, I got all kinds of weed. Let's go get high." And we're ditching high school, and I was down there in Sierra Way in Lugo, and I walk into this place and I see nothing but drum set. And I'm like, "Oh, he plays drums." And he goes, No, that's Howard's drum set. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so we're kicking back and we're packing bowls and passing it around. I called this one peanut butter grasshopper because there's someone I didn't know there. His name is John Cancer. He's over there. And he goes, "Hey, man, hey, if I eat this grasshopper, will you give me a nickel of weed?" And I was like going, "What? That's crazy." I was like, "Here, I'll just pack it and pass it over to you." And he's like, "No, man." He's like, "Will you give me a nickel of weed?" And I guess I just gave it to him after a while. I was like, "Man, you better eat a damn grasshopper." And he goes, "Well, I'll eat with peanut butter, you know." And it was crazy. It was crazy thinking about, I remember like everybody there, and Penny wasn't there, because we were getting high in her house and everything. It was fun because I met all kinds of people. I was just in high school, and Jeff and me and Jeff were close because we lived like right up. He lived down the street. I lived in apartments and he lived in a house. And his mom used to cook all the time.
She was
for the
here.
Guys, for all the stoners, and we'd all go to, she'd come back from Las Vegas tour trips. She would set up, and then she would cook spaghetti, and man, the stoners would just go right there and just start munching. We'd have spaghetti and lasagna and everything you could think of. This shit, man, it was awesome. But I hung out with Randy like for years, and I got to know everybody else in his family after that. After a while, he got to meet everybody. I had another friend. I haven't seen him in so long. His name is Frank Rodriguez. He used to ride mountain bikes. He used to hitchhike up in the mountains. And now I live in the mountains, so I've pretty much been here my whole life. But I've been kind of like bouncing around from place to place, and I got to meet the McNowns and the whole family. And so that's where we had we were partiers. We partied hard, and I'm grateful because I'm still standing here talking. For what I did, I didn't think I was going to live that long. But I know that Randy's touched a lot of people just looking around. Everybody's here, and this isn't even a regular party. It's a celebration of his life, and so I see how much effect and how much he touched people. That means a lot to me. It goes way back. We did a lot of crazy things. I was sleeping one time in this Chevy Nova car. You know, I had those long seats that go across, and there was one time I was so wasted, and I couldn't make it home, and he was on, and it was in 40th, and it was at his grandma's, and he goes, "Don't let my grandma know." He just kind of like sneak out, you know, and he goes, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll come and I'll wake you up when she's not looking, you know, get you out of here and stuff." But yeah, that's how we were. We were just partiers. You know, we partied. Me and Randy, we liked our weed, and we always smoked up. What really pissed me off, though, Randy would always get his good pot, and he'd turn, and him and Jeff would like ditch me. They'd take off and run off and stuff. And I was like, man. So, anyways, it goes way back. So,
what's on there?
but I'm glad that everybody's here. You know, thank you for sharing, and thank you. You know, I wouldn't have missed it anyways. I didn't have a driver's license. I still would have came down here anyways from the mountains. I was going to drive, and take chances just to come down here because I knew there was going to be people to show up. I knew there was. It's been a while, man, since we all seen each other. So it's good to see everybody. I'm kind of like chowing on pizza at the moment right now. I haven't even smoked in a week yet.
Bummer.
Yep, there'll be some out back, I'm sure. About Randy over the years. Gosh.
I have my boy. Let's go.
This is Ryan.
Oh, that's good. Can I sit down? Nope. I have nothing.
Here.
Right there. You're a douche. This is my boy. I would not know Howard had he not introduced us to one. He goes, "Hey man, my brother plays drums, man." I play guitar, man. Let's do it. I'm sorry.
All right, brother?
Yeah, man. Randy, he was my cat.
Like I said, I wouldn't know this man if it weren't for Randy. So Randy was.
We did the scene.
He was the great uniter. Because this guy ended up being my lifelong best.
It's okay. Honey. Rox.
She don't listen. Her dad's walking away.
Come on, Angel.
He was tight. He was there for me. He was fucking cool. I'm sorry. I have no idea how to do this. I have no idea.
This guy can stand up in front of a crowd of 1,000 people and sing and play guitar better than anybody you've ever seen in your freaking life.
And fuck you.
And I mean, he will own the freaking place. I can't believe this.
But we have Randolph, man. I have no idea. I don't know how to fix it. I have no idea how to do it. I'm sorry. I don't know.
40 every Sorry, really? Wow.
At least 99% of it.
That's awesome.
This is 360.
Wow.
He's my friend, Randolph.
Kind of stuff you want to see on YouTube.
Sorry.
Right?
Sorry.
Howard Taylor. Got to fix the mic. Andy wants to talk.
Yep.
Got it?
Yep. Go. Hey, bro.
Andy, tell the story till Penny's from Randall Lee. He's in trouble.
We've met each other.
All right, we're hot.
A few times.
When you said that just now, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
all